Now, Savanna, your story and the star of tonight, Sara Gondel's story, are kind of interesting.
Right. I think we were both actually at the same place at the same time. But yes, I was at, because I was living in Portland then, so I went to Powell's for the midnight release, and I know that you were there. But we didn't know each other then. I was actually just looking at your pictures to see if I was in any of them, but I couldn't find myself. But yeah, if you guys don't know what Powell's is, and I don't know, I think a lot of people outside of Portland do know what it is, but it's supposedly the world's largest independent new and used bookstore. Powell's City of Books, it's just this massive bookstore. I love it. It's probably the number one thing that I miss about Portland. But they had a really, really awesome midnight release party. I was sort of there for the very end of it, so I didn't see everything that happened. But, I waited in the line and got my book. And what actually my sort of embarrassing story is that there were employees there of the bookstore running a trivia contest, and you could choose, I think they were just asking random people in line if they wanted to play this trivia game, and you could pick an easy question or a hard question, or they might have had, medium difficulty questions as well. But, of course, I'm a crazy, obsessive Hunger Games fan, so I'm like, oh, give me the hard question. And I got it wrong, and I was so humiliated. And now I don't even remember what the question was. It was something very specific, what time on the clock, were the monkeys or something crazy like that. So, and I didn't know.
What color was Katniss's backpack?
I know. Why didn't they ask me that one? That was probably one of the easy questions. But, yeah, so, I got the book then. I stayed up all night reading it and finished it the next day. And, I definitely had a very similar reaction to everyone else here. I was sort of numb. I felt very strange. I couldn't believe that it was all over. Initially, I was a bit disappointed in the ending, but after, I reread parts of it, I really grew to love it. So, but Sara, you can share your version of the same story.
Yeah. Well, the display that Powell's had was amazing, and I just tweeted my photos from last year. So if you follow me on Twitter, go find those pictures because it was incredible. And actually, the display won Powell's a visit from Suzanne Collins, which was really awesome.
I know, and I was really pissed off because that happened after I had left, after I moved.
Oh, no.
I was enraged. It was horrible.
Well, I went with a couple of my friends. One of them, Lisa Schroeder, she dressed as Katniss, and that was spectacular. We were walking through downtown Portland. She's carrying this giant bow with her quiver of arrows. We walked into this bar to get drinks beforehand, and she was like, "Oh, maybe I should have put this in the car." So that was really fun. But no, I got my book, and we left the party. It was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be at work at 2 because I work this awful graveyard shift. So I go into work at 2 in the morning. So I had an hour after I got the book before I had to be at work. And so I got home, and I started reading, and I read the first chapter, fell asleep, woke up to my alarm clock, dragged myself to work, and just was dying because all I wanted to do was go home and read. And so I got home, I took a nap, and then I woke up from that nap, called in sick to work the next day, and then stayed up all day reading.
That's
so
awesome.
I called in sick for Mockingjay. But no, the party was amazing, and
I agree. The decorations were really cool. Definitely looked at Sarah's pictures.
All their staff members were dressed like Capitol citizens with crazy hair and costumes, and they all made their own costumes, and there were some dressed as peacekeepers. Yeah, and they all got really into it. That was really fun.
It was too. Yeah, it was really, really cool.